Hey y'all, I'm using a new product, a new camera app to see how this works. It's one that's not on my computer, so I can do this without having all the really blurry motions that I've been having. I'm here today to talk about the Goddess Tarot. It was a request. I've gotten several requests. Unfortunately, most of my decks are in the state I'm moving to this week, so I only have a few, maybe about 20 here. And strangely enough, I thought I had 411, but finding this deck, I realized I've got 412. I have an app on my iPhone that I keep track of my decks on. Just trying to keep myself honest and stop getting duplicates of decks I don't need duplicates of. I'm going to have a duplicate sale at some point and see if I can't get myself back down to maybe, I won't even say the number because it'll just be wrong if I do. Pardon me while I get some water. So this is the Goddess Tarot. Oh, my face is so big. This is the Goddess Tarot by Kris Waldherr. It is from USGames, and it's a 1998 deck. I believe it is still in print, and it is gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. It is a regular box. It's a little bigger than normal boxes because this deck is a little bigger than normal decks. Here's the back. And that is the High Priestess on the back. I do like this deck. Looking at the box, and here's why I tape boxes. You see some of that going on? That's simply because of opening and closing. You know, it's cardboard, y'all. It's going to wear out. It has the typical little white book. The LWB. Just gives you descriptions and short information on the different cards. You do get a little bit when you're looking at the majors, the major arcana. You get more information on who the goddess is that she's chosen. So it's very feminine. Duh. It's a goddess deck. So it's very heavy in feminine images and information. The back of the deck, totally reversible. Doop. Doop. And pretty. You know, it's nothing crazy. Just very simple. But it's identifiable. I've always thought that it'd be fun to do a tarot site where you had the back of the deck and the Fool card, so that when people were trying to identify decks that you'd gotten without boxes or any information, it might give you a visual to look at. And I love doing that. So if y'all have decks that you don't know what they are, share an image with me and I'll see what I can find out for you. I've got a big network too, and or get hooked up with the network on Facebook, because there's a huge tarot network there. I love Tarot-holics. It's a very, very fun group. It's run by Louise Underhill out of England. She's not in London. I'm not really sure where she is. But she does a really fine job of maintaining a very large, very active group. So we're going to look at one card from each suit, all four of one court group, and then some of the majors. When I show cards, I always show in the order that I read the suits. So the first one is Swords. And I picked the Eight of Swords because this can be one of those cards. My fan is making this move a little bit. This could be one of those cards that's a little icky to some people. But when you think about the Eight of Swords, I want you to consider this. This is a mental card, right? It's about how we trap ourselves in our minds, or how we let other people trap us. Emphasis on let. You know, yes, there are manipulative, creepy people out there who want to control us, mind blank us. But we are in a position where we don't have to allow it. We can back up. We can move out of it. Unfortunately, this person has chosen to lay down, and they've been able to pin her in with swords. So to get up and get out of there, she can, but she's got to do something. She's got to change her attitude. That's one of my views of the Eight of Swords. Four of Staves. This is wands or batons. It's a fire suit. And I really love this depiction because it shows the happy couple. They're getting married. There's a home in the background that they're headed to. This is very much about the passion of beginnings. The 4 staves do represent the 4 corners of the home. And this card is often one I see that predicts weddings and gatherings and celebrations of love. But it's definitely about stability and love. The next card is one of the less than fun cards. I forget my camera's over here, so I keep looking over there, and you're all like, who's she talking to? You. This is the 7 of Cups. This is a card of choices and a card of dithering. If you're not familiar with the word dithering, it means to, I want this, no, I want that, maybe this, oh, what about this? This is cool, can I get that? No, oh, I don't know. Dithering. You see in the cups there's some good things, there's some bad things, there's an unknown thing at the very top. She must make a choice. Now, the key with the 7 of Cups, often for me, is that the whole point is to make a choice. The entire lesson is actually in choosing something and in not, oh, I don't know, dithering. We're going to look at one of my fave cards of the Earth. It's the Successful card, the card of you've made it, let's kick back and talk about how much you've made it. It's the 9 of Pentacles. It's often shown with a woman in her garden with an animal. So we've got all that going on here. Oh, and in this deck, Kris has been pretty good about each suit has a specific ethnicity. This is her Asian ethnicity. They're, I think, mostly Indian. But look at this beautiful, beautiful card. You see the trees in the background? They've got that peacock thing going on. Peacocks are very important in this card in a lot of decks. She has jewels on. She's dressed in beautiful fabric. This is about a woman who has gained what she's been looking for. And she's taken a step back to look at what she's done and to understand her own personal success. I often coach my clients to look at themselves maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and look at themselves now and see how much has changed. Change is inevitable, right? A good life is one that changes for me. It doesn't stay static. So I believe that's a big piece of that. But that's what the 9 of Coins or the 9 of Pentacles is for me. Success, honoring your success, honoring that you're different from where you were. Too many of us are very hard on ourselves in that area. Now I want to look at the 4 courts. We have the princess, the prince, the queen, and the king. You're going to notice something else in here. They all look like they're related. Because, again, Kris likes to have that continuity in her suits. We're doing staves. So these are the fire suit. Here's our princess of staves. She's got her stick in her hand. She's ready to act. She's ready to do something. Again, a little impulsive. I believe I did staves with one of my other card reviews, deck reviews just recently. So you'll hear some other things. Here's the prince. Again, a younger person. Now, in this one, the princess may actually be the knight. I may have these out of order, and I apologize. But look at the red hair. Look at her red hair, right? They could be, and in fact, are brother and sister. We move to the queen. Look at the hymn right here. See those suns there? Tying in that energy of fire. Now, one thing that I don't appreciate about this deck is that there's not an animal in here. I really like to see my Queen of Wands have the cat. I like to see that familiarity for me because it reminds me of certain things. My mind is keyed in on certain things. So, it's picky, but there you are. Here is our wonderful King of Staves. He's got the same hymn. He's got jewels. He's very successful. And I want you to notice here something also that we can kind of see. In fact, that's what tells me what order we're in. Hand on the staff. Hand a little higher on the staff, see? Or a little Yeah, a little, ah. And hers is even lower. It's lower, not higher. And then his. You can see by how high her staff is and where his is. So she's using that as the depth of the suit. Depth may not be the best word there, so y'all just have to work with me on that. But it's another way to kind of glance and visually know immediately which card it is, even if you're not looking at the name or number on the card. Let's move in again. This is the Goddess Tarot by Kris Waldherr. Let's move into the court cards. Let's don't move into the court cards since we just did the court cards. I may have to learn how to edit these, y'all, so I take out my like faces. Ugh. I can hear y'all laughing. Stop it. Wisdom. Sarasvati. She is the High Priestess. She is sitting in a lotus of knowledge. She has the book here. We don't have the dark pillars, so that's kind of a loss for me on this card, but we do have a goddess of wisdom. We have knowledge. We have all that idea of mystery and seeking knowledge. So that comes through to me very clearly in this deck. I had to pull the Hierophant or the Pope card because it just tickled me. The Pope or Hierophant is about rules and structures and discipline and not varying. And Kris has chosen Juno as this card. Juno with her beautiful peacocks around her. And of course, Juno really believed in following the law. She really believed that you should not step out on your marriage, Jupiter. So it was a very, it made me giggle when I saw her there as the High Priest. Not the High Priest, but as the Hierophant or the Pope. Next we have the Death card, one of the cards that I personally like to look at when I'm looking at a tarot deck. I like Death and the Star. I'll say that probably every tarot video. I don't know which ones y'all watched. And this one is, dun dun dun, Transformation. Ukimochi. And I really don't know her story. I find that for this deck, knowing the stories of the goddesses chosen is very useful. But death is transformation, so she must be a shapeshifter sometimes. She must be a changer. I'm trying to see if I can see anything in the card that tells me what she changes to. Maybe a tree. Maybe a tree. I really can't tell. But it's very much the whole idea, the whole key information of death and transformation is very self-evident in this deck, in that card. And then, of course, I love looking at the star. And the star here is Inanna. Inanna is, there's some correlation with her to the Virgin Mary. So, but the stars and the moons and the heavens. And here is Inanna reaching up to the moon. She's surrounded by stars. She again has that goal by reaching up. That's important to me in a star card. Star for me is very much about goals and higher goals, higher things that you're reaching for. Not easy, you know, not getting the peanut butter down off the shelf, but dreaming about growing the peanuts and making the peanuts yourself. That kind of bigger goal is what we're looking at here. And if you've noticed on these cards, they all have like this echo border, and each one has images that tie into the card itself. And this is about Inanna'S Descent, I believe, on the echoes, because it's showing all the cave and the deeper stuff. And the world. I've gotten in the habit of showing y'all the world, so here we go. Big globe. It's Gaia. And I really love this card because we see here the traditional globe, right? The globe that you might see in a classroom. We have the two ladies on either side supporting Gaia. There are two griffins down here. All the growth going on. This card, as I hold this up against the, that's useful. But yeah, lots of opening and lots of expansion. And this is a very big piece for me for the world. The world is about opportunity and things coming and about people helping you. I just had did a reading today for somebody where the world showed up for them in a really fairly important place for them. And it was kind of nice to be able to say, yeah, what you want, you've got what you need. There's lots of opportunity coming, and pretty much her reading was very upbeat and very positive, which I like, right? It's more fun giving people good messages than, your life's going to suck for the next 3 months. And I really don't do that, because for me, reading for you is not about saying your life's going to suck for 3 months. It's more about saying, okay, you've got these challenges coming up. Let's look at how you can work around those challenges. So if you want a reading, please find me online at tarotbyarwen.com. I've been reading since 1985 as a professional, and for myself since 1980. So I really love what I do, and I love working with you. As always, remember, seek joy, y'all. I'm Arwen of Tarot by Arwen, and this was the Goddess Tarot Review, and it's from USGames 1998.